Beer's even better tonight because tonight I decided, screw it, we're drinking it right from the bottle. Good evening, sports fans. We welcome you back to the eMLB 2025 Amateur Draft. We've got the conclusion of round 2 for you as we weren't able to get it done yesterday. We're going to get through to round 5 tonight. We do have to finish by 9 o'clock. That is a definite. As Out of the Park Developments, that sports gamer TJ will be streaming tonight his KBO. So we cannot compete. As ready to go as we can be, we hope.
Let's go while we're young.
You better believe it. We're gonna go. We go. We gone. We outie. Let's do it.
Welcome. Come in. Fresh victims for my ever-growing army of the undead.
Sir, you have to let go of the button.
Well, son of a bitch.
One of these days, we'll remember to hit the button. I tell ya. Chris LB, welcome you back here from the eMLB Sportsnet studios for round 2 through 5 action of the eMLB Amateur Draft. The 2025 edition has been very entertaining thus far. 56 picks have been officially made. We showed 51 of them earlier, so if you're just joining on, button, who's got the button indeed? I wish we knew that for sure. So, if you're just joining on, let's go give you a pick and see who has been selected since then. Due to a screw-up with the Out of the Park draft order, had to do some adjusting on Stats Plus. Some of these players have not been officially added to their team yet. That will be fixed super shortly as we get going. So our last selection that we did live yesterday was the Minnesota Twins, number 51 pick. There he is right there, serial killer 840. Hey, Scott. Xavier Odom has been drafted. The UCLA freshman has been drafted by the Twins. That was the last one we did there. That meant we went on to Philly. Philly's pick is in. Here it was. If you have not seen it, we won't do the draft chimes yet. We'll wait till we get back to live. For Philly, maybe. My button didn't work. Well, why did that not work? Hold on. There we go. I don't know why that didn't work, but it finally worked there. Mike Raines has been selected by the Philadelphia Phillies, the high school senior from Lake Mead Academy out in Nevada. Solid line drive type hitter, phenomenal range at short, plays most of the infield positions, has an excellent arm, will probably specialize on the left side of the diamond. He got a little bit of gaps in his game, not known to be, or they say his swing is clunky. Think Gabe Kapler in regards to the clunkiness of his ability. But he can definitely, when he gets bad on ball, he can find the gaps and he will definitely be trouble. Not known to be a stolen base guy, but the speed is average at least, so he's not going to be a clog on the base paths. But definitely has a good commitment, good engine. Not a terrible pick here at this spot. Mike Raines can definitely grow into something being very respectable. Phillies will take a shot on him with their 20th pick, or the 20th pick overall in the second round of the draft. That was who Philly took. Now we'll go and show you who the Cardinals have selected here. created by the Plague Bag community created player Jerome Powell. Not to be confused with the federal chair Jerome Powell, but that's why he's nicknamed J Money. I think this was a troll in my direction from the Plague Bag. Just a guess. But the Georgetown freshman, originally from D.C., another solid grinding type of catcher, very defensive-minded first, pretty solid arm. He's going to be someone you got to think is going to be above league average on throwing runners out over his career. Respectable speed for a catcher. The contact could definitely, absolutely use some benefit, but he's a workhorse. We think the Cardinals, who have had a constant merry-go-round in the catching spot, will hope that they have found some consistency in J Money, who they select in the second round. Houston came up with the next pick. Gotta find, there he is, the selection that they made. Houston's selection was the 21-year-old left-hander Jeffrey Southwick. Yeah, the creator left the Discord, and to be honest, I don't even know if he's on the Discord anymore, or at least under that moniker. So, that'll suck, but it is what it is. So, Jeffrey Southwick from Rutherford, Pennsylvania, junior over at Pittsburgh. Phenomenal 4-pitch repertoire, fastball, curveball, slider, forkball. He'll touch 100 pretty regularly. That's the question. While he'll strike plenty of guys out, can he keep it over the plate, or is he going to absolutely struggle with it? But in his junior year, 9-1, 1.62 ERA, 16.2 strikeouts per 9 innings. That is a pretty impressive statistic in itself. Over for the Rangers. Rangers will go after one of the cooler names in the draft, Grumpy Old, created by community created player Grumpy Old Brian. Now, someone says that Grumpy Old didn't boost this player, but again, Grumpy Old's donation, his kind donation he did during our Twitch partner program, did definitely help his cause. He's a Stanford, he goes to Stanford as a freshman. He's originally from Indianapolis, Indiana. Keeps that ball down, very solid movement, works the sinker very aggressively low in the zone. The curveball probably even assists with keeping that ball down in this situation. And he's got pretty solid control on it, so we think he can keep the walks down. Strikeouts won't be his biggest focus, but he will absolutely play very consistently. Gotta think that Grumpy Old is one of your number 3, number 4 type players the way he's currently working, but there's a very strong possibility that he always has the ability to get some additional upside. Grumpy Old going to Texas. We understand he's got a bit of a Texas heart and background, so that probably works out pretty well. Congratulations on getting drafted by the Texas Rangers. Our last selection that has been made before we go back live here. We talk about fancy names. Well, here's probably the fanciest name you're going to see in this draft pool. He clearly goes by the Gorgalicious Booty Whomper. Gorgo 2005's community created player from Montpelier, Ohio. He played his freshman college at Ohio. Good home run hitting first baseman. He's in that solid 6'5", 245-pound frame. Not going to be fast, not going to have a biggest focus on defense, so he'll still be a serviceable first baseman, but you know that he's a bit more offensively minded when it comes to it. He had a pretty solid year for his freshman year. 313 average, 17 round trippers, 59 runs batted in. He felt that that was worth putting himself out there. Thought he was more of a first round pick overall. Nothing sad with being a late second round pick here, as the Braves could definitely benefit from bringing someone like Booty Whomper in to replace the aging Freddie Freeman as time goes on. So Gorgalicious Booty Whomper is a member of the Atlanta Braves. That is where we are thus far on the draft. Our next selection is already in. That is for the Tampa Bay Rays. He just hadn't put it on the list yet. Hey, we got a boost. Great Scott with the boost. Great Scott! 1.21 gigawatts! Congrats, Scott. As you got drafted earlier in the draft already, Donald LaFay got drafted back in the first round, if I remember correctly, by the Detroit Tigers with the 27th pick. There is a boost towards LaFay's work. That's the beer you're gonna have soon, huh? All right, we are ready to display the next selection. It is Tampa's pick. Let's go ahead and give you a peek at who they've selected. Hey, baby. The porn star has been drafted. Jeremy Porn. One of the more unique names in there. From McDonough, Georgia, the 19-year-old playing as a 19-year-old junior at UCF. Hello, I missed that one. A 19-year-old junior at UCF. Okay, so we got Doogie Howser on our hand, despite the name Jeremy Porn. Throws the fastball, curveball combination, throws over the top, which helps him get that ball down and low. Definitely downward movement on that pitch. Hey, he really pumps it in there.
That's what she said.
Indeed. I can see an awful lot of references to Michael Scott being used when the porn star is going to be up on the mound. 2-1, had 19 saves this season, going the route of a reliever here on this particular moment. Let me get that pick selected here. There's our selection. So again, solid stuff. He's going to be able to work the strikeouts. Got the potential to be the type of closer here, but even in a Rays bullpen, you've got to think he's got some solid potential to be able to just be a very effective setup guy who will be able to earn his stripes in that capacity. Definite hard worker, most likely always going to be the reliever type, but still solid overall player. Just wondering if he could have been held off on a little bit later. You gotta definitely think there was some premium in that name. Nah, he likes the backdoor curve.
That's what she said.
Indeed. We could just go on for hours with that one. So, Pornstar has been selected by the Tampa Bay Rays. That'll get us over to our next selection, as that is going to be the Pittsburgh Pirate. Pirates selection is, oh, hold on. Is it in? Yay, it is in. I know I screwed one thing up and I'm fixing it right now. There we go. Had to fix one thing that I noticed that I did not have properly set up. We are good now. Time to introduce our next selection in the draft. All right, we had our fun. Stone Cold has been selected. Boy, what a change of pace with the music there, as Stone Cold Steve Austin has been drafted by the Pittsburgh Pirates. And what's that? We have Stone Cold Steve Austin? Huh? Okay. Sure. All right. Apparently on the line, we've got Stone Cold Steve Austin. Apparently wants to have a couple of comments. So, Stone Cold, you there?
How you doing?
We're doing just fine. How about you?
Are you having a good day?
I think so. How about you? Are you having a good day?
You're gonna ask me some questions.
It's an interview, ain't it? So I figured we are, right?
You're gonna ask me a bunch of questions? Is that what you were gonna do?
Wait a minute. Isn't he calling? What is going on here?
Do you understand me?
I think so. How do you want to be referred to, sir?
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Okay, I think we had that. So okay. So my name is Kamish.
Michael.
No, it's Kamish.
Michael.
Kamish.
Michael.
Okay. Anyway, so you just got drafted. Congratulations. You got drafted in the second round. Second.
3.
All right. So, what are you looking forward to about Pittsburgh here, sir?
What? No, go ahead.
Okay. So maybe you didn't. We must be having a bad technical difficulty here. So, you just got drafted by the Pittsburgh Pirates. Are you looking forward to your future at PNC Park?
What?
I don't know. This might not be going right well here.
Look at man right in the eye, face to face.
Wait a minute. I can't look at you in the eye face to face. We don't have Cam with you right now. All right. I tell you what. Do you have any parting thoughts that you'd like to tell us?
And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
Okay, so apparently that's what Cody's got to deal with going forward. So we're going to wish him the best of luck. Stone Cold, thank you very much for your time and energy this evening, if you can still hear us.
He almost had to quit.
Did you hear that, guys? He was trying to ruin the draft. Unbelievable. This guy's got a family. Be right back. I'm gonna go cry. That's the bully who just bullied me. Okay, I had to have a little bit of fun with that. So, all right, I think it's time to get back to some seriousness, and let's have the Detroit Tigers get this one going. So, Mark, if you are out there, let's see who you are thinking of. So again, as a reminder, the rounds 2 and 3 will have 5-minute timers. That's the one other thing I didn't get done. I didn't get the timer set up here. I was going to hopefully have that just up on our green screen here. Didn't work out. So we got a 5-minute timer right now, 3-minute timer afterwards. So I'm going to check in and see if Mark has submitted a list, because he did say he was going to be in and out today. Okay, I have his list. I know who he wants. Let me go to the draft here. So again, as I said, I've got to fix a couple of things. This will not take long, but it's just a little tedious. First things first, Detroit's selection is in. And with that, let's go take a peek at who the Tigers have drafted with their second round pick. We've got the left-hander from Moldova, Giannis Garbo. Also a freshman alongside Xavier Odom at UCLA. Garbo, community graded player of legacy, also known in the chat Legacy CS, in our Discord as Brian H. Congratulations to you, Legacy. The 6'2" left-hander who's definitely been telling the story on how baseball has been a passion of his for some time, and he did his best to make it something. Oh God, I'm being pronunciated. Moldova. Thank you. I appreciate that because I do want to get it right. Throws a mid-90s fastball. Probably the forkball and the screwball are the two best pitches that he has available for himself. And then sports a sinker as his fourth pitch in that situation. Works the corners pretty well. Has a pretty solid command of the zone here. I'm getting choked up mostly because I got humiliated from Stone Cold Steve Austin. Giannis Garbo is your selection for the Tigers. I think he's going to find a good home in Detroit with the Tigers in the spacious Comerica Park. All right, so I'm going to draft him. Now I've got to go and just get people onto their proper teams now, and then I am hopeful that I will be able to not have to do this much today. So I'm just putting our prior players I've just shown here. Comerica National Park. Do they allow deer out there now? That'd be funny if Rob Deer was in Comerica National Park. Wouldn't it? Ah! I'm running off on it. I got nothing. I'm just absolutely humiliated there from Stone Cold. All right. All right, Tampa selecting the porn star. Pittsburgh drafting that bully. And finally, Giannis. Oh, shoot. I did it again. Okay, hold on. I put Stone Cold on Houston because Ben apparently wanted him more. So, all right. So you know what I'm gonna have to do? When Houston's up, I will move Austin over. You guys will draft. I will adjust your dollar amounts. So I'll make a note. Ben and Cody. I just accidentally put Austin on the Houston. I forgot that Houston was ahead on Pittsburgh on this screwed up draft order. OTP, I am not happy about that at all, period. Stone Cold's dad was worth $6 million. I'm old enough that I get that joke. Steve Austin, astronaut. Barely alive. All right, I'm getting off. Let's see, Arizona. Aaron. If you guys... What? Anyway, I got confused by something Chuck said. Yeah, Stats Plus shows it correctly. That's what's important. So, Aaron, whisper me on Twitch, please, your selection. Everybody, as a reminder, I want you to be whispering on Twitch. Let me do the rest. And, or at least, you DM'd on here. On here? You did? I don't see any DM on here. I don't see no rings on your fingers. You sure you didn't DM elsewhere? Because I don't have any DMs from you. Nope. Oh, we're trying to get another acquisition of Pablo Mejia, who's probably still in the parking lot despite being drafted. Fielding grounders. I'm looking at Twitch. I have no recent messages from Aaron. I have nothing. I've seen all my messages, and they were all yesterday. No. Are you sending to your other commissioner in another league? Just resend the darn thing, because I got nothing. Then send it to me on Discord. I'm not getting anything. Someone else send me a whisper, please. Anybody. Just whisper me on Twitch. And after you've whispered, let me know that you've sent so I can tell you. I just got a whisper from Aju, from Jake, from Sadir, Jamie, Denbrew. I'm getting whispers just fine from people. Grizzly old dude just sends me a whisper. That's like serial killer back in the day going, Rosebud. I've got nothing. I think Erin's trolling us, chat. She playing with us. She like, I'm gonna mess with your minds. Har har. Don't got it. I don't see it. I don't have it. But I now see what you sent me. Alright. Now I know where you're going. Okay, I think we're good. Hopefully. I don't know why. Yeah, maybe that's why, because Aaron was probably trying to draft Jandy Ronson, didn't realize that Jandy had been drafted already, so who knows? Anything's possible. Pick is in. Aaron, you can go ahead and put it on Stats Plus now. Here comes the selection. What's going on tonight?
Two people were directly affected by your actions last night. Daniel Bryan and myself.
Are you kidding me? CM Punk? What is going on around here? Chris Michael Punk, aka Phil Brooks, has been selected by the Arizona Diamondbacks. First base, 6'5", 235-pounder. Apparently had a career motive to go into wrestling. Took a swerve after hearing some guy named Austin got selected. A JUCO freshman at Triton College in River Grove, Illinois, from Chicago. One more time. See Tim being happy about the wrestlers being in the other division, and you know that why. That's because he doesn't want to have anybody put him to sleep or stone cold stun him, so fair enough. But CM Punk has been drafted by the Arizona Diamondbacks, which gets us over to our next selection. That is going to be by the Washington Nationals. Pirate worked very diligently on his list, so we already know the selection for him. Maybe. Here comes the selection for... I gotta turn the music down first. Alright, here comes the selection coming for the Washington Nationals. They're going to select center fielder, 6'4", Jimmy Davis. Now, Davis is one of those players who was from the 1.0 era and was given a high probability of being this super stud. He was like the second coming, was what he was basically assumed. Here's what making him a former #1 draft pick ended up doing back in the 1.0 universe. One of those you wish you had a do-over. Now, 190 home runs wasn't terrible, but a 250 average absolutely didn't go with it. He was respectable that he was murder on the base pass. Absolutely huge running game for Jimmy Davis 1.0. Now we look at the 2.0 version from Trenton, New Jersey. Sophomore over at Kent State. Absolute top shelf ability on the base pass. Center, gonna be a solid center fielder. Very smooth glove work out there is his history. Also can play some first base as well. He's got the ability to be a real pest in the extra base department. We're not necessarily talking home runs. So this is a guy who had a lot of hype. He didn't pan out very well. That was Earl Brewer's probably worst selection that he made as a #1 draft pick. Not Earl Brewer, Earl Bailey, excuse me. Earl was our long-time Milwaukee GM back in the day before, because Jason, who's a Milwaukee guy, had Anaheim in that situation. So Jimmy Davis has been selected by the Washington Nationals, which puts the Angels on the docket. I don't know if Tom is here. I think I saw he was here. Okay, I see the selection now. Give me a second. I had something I needed to look at. Okay. I could probably show you an OTP 5 screen. I'm not going to go try to do that right now, that's for sure. All right. Tom, if you want to get ready to go as soon as you hear the chimes, go right ahead and put your selection in as I pull your player up. This is the 30th pick of the second round. We have 2 compensation picks afterward in Cleveland and Houston. For now, let's look at the 30th selection by the world champion, Los Angeles Angels. There we go. They will select the boy, the big boy, Sean Thornton. First baseman, 6'5" from South Bend, Indiana. Freshman over at Notre Dame. Household local kid name in the South Bend, Mishikawa area. Or I knew that, I butchered that. It's a Mishawaka area. My apologies there, Chad. That's Compass Rose's player that he created. Very nice write-up that he wrote here. Wish I could share all of this, except that this is going to be something I would love for you to share in the player news so that you get a proper boost for it. Key fixture on an all-star team back in Indiana that represented the Great Lakes region that won it all back in the 2018 World Series that played in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. So Thornton knows success, even if it was at the level of Little League. We'll see if he can translate that into the majors. So far, so good in his college days as he hit .309 with 16 homers and 48 runs batted in. Notre Dame's Sean Thornton, Compass Rose 20, has been drafted by the Los Angeles Angels. Congrats over to you, Chad. All right, that gets us to Sadier's selection here. I think I've already seen the selection in. Maybe. Nope, I did not. Now, I'll say this, Aaron. I'm seeing whispers, but it's not telling me who is doing the whispers. So now it is. I just had to refresh my screen. So, chat, absolutely. Take what you sent me and put it into the player news section so that you've got that story to tell about Thornton so that we can tell that. Make sure everybody gets to see that. All right, I have Sadier's selection. Let me get to it. Okay, Cleveland selection has been made. Here it comes. Possible diamond in the rough. Martin Bradford from Marshall, Wisconsin. Community created player of Extreme UW. The truck driver. Freshman over at Wisconsin Whitewater. Workhorse in that system. 10-4, 2.73 ERA, 149 strikeouts and 135 innings of work. Brings a solid fastball, sinker, curveball, slider combination. Hasn't graded out, we should say, into being an absolute wow factor. But what has been said about him is once he gets it, then he gets it. We are going to see if that translates soon enough here. Again, as all players being drafted are getting ready to join rookie ball that will start up in the rookie leagues within the next couple of sim weeks. So, Extreme UW's Martin Bradford has been drafted by the Cleveland Indians. Sadier, go ahead, add him on to Stats Plus if you could, please. I would greatly appreciate it. That gets us over to Ben. Oh, there's still plenty of non-GMs on the board. Just do your homework from the Discord as well. Yes, in the player news section. You nailed it. Oh, here I am, assuming you can see me. Yes, in the players news section. All right, Ben has his pick, I think. Nope, he's just saying, give me a section before I have my pick. All right, now you know what's funny, Aaron? As soon as I refresh, I was, as I said, I was getting messages from everyone else but you, but as soon as I refresh, now I see 6 messages from you. Go figure. All right, I'll do it for you this go around, Sadier, just to save on time. Bradford. Where'd the player go? That's weird. Okay, there it is. That's why I couldn't see it. All right. Houston has their selection in. I hope that's what you wanted because the draft board has been updated. All right, in is the pick. Here comes the last pick of the second round. The guy known as the nuke hitting machine, Coach Playa. No surprise which community creative player that is of Coach Playa himself. And you know what I notice? Our streamers, and I'm not picking on anybody, are streamers egotistical and just use those names because I'm thinking I've got Taco Existential, who goes by that name. I've got Papa Vaz, who's changed his name to Latin Vaz, but the same idea. Well, Dishnet didn't go by Dishnet34. That'd be a weird name. But Coach Playa, the nuke hitting machine, 6'5", big 265-pound right-hander from UC Irvine. And as the name suggests, he's going to go for the downs as much as he can. That'll work well. You got to think that short park, that short porch in left field is going to do some benefit, you would have to think, in that situation. All right, so that's the end of the second round. Now, Ben and Cody, I want you to keep in mind, you've got a switch up. Ben has Stone Cold. Cody has Pittsburgh, has Coach Playa. I'm going to look to see what their prices are. Sign them. Let me see what you signed him for, and I will properly adjust each of you. So if one's more expensive than the other, you get the idea. I will make sure you are whole. It was my mistake on that. So, drafting that player. Now let me get the rest done. Arizona took CM Punk. Then we had Washington take Jimmy Davis.
Great horny toad!
Holy crap, and right there is Extreme giving us the heart attack as you get a little bit of Yosemite Sam dancing. Dude dances pretty good despite how grumpy he always is, right? Thank you, Extreme. I appreciate that. All right, so Nationals took Jimmy Davis. Angels took Sean Thornton. Patent on Grump. Cleveland selected Martin Bradford. And finally, Houston oh, dear God. I think I figured something out. Oh my God. This is just so frustrating. Hold on. Now I've got big problems here that I'm looking at. So, Southwick was put on Texas by accident. Where's Grumpy Old? Did I even put Grumpy Old on the team? I did not. Okay. So, I gotta write this down. Let me make sure. So, I'm gonna end up having Grumpy Old most likely on the wrong team because it looks like I forgot to put him on a team. Yep, okay. So, Texas ended up having Jeffrey Southwick put on it by accident, by my accident, and Southwick with Grumpy Old. It'll be easy to fix. I just had to know who's who. And again, Coach Playa and Stone Cold. Now, this is what I'm going to do. We should be in the third round now after I make this official player draft. Think I can adjust the rounds? Yes, I can. Thank goodness. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to make sure that the draft order is proper for the third round. Then after the third round and the fourth round, what I need to do is make some further tweaks. So again, I apologize not catching the out of the park. It re-switched my draft order. Really has screwed us a little bit here. So I'm just creating extra work for me here at this point. So just making sure all is well. White Sox don't have a 3rd round pick. Cubs, Yankees do not. Blue Jays, Reds, Athletics, Rockies, Indians, Red Sox, Padres, Mets, Dodgers, Mariners, Brewers, no Orioles, Twins. Phillies are in the right spot. St. Louis is in the right spot. Houston is not in the right spot. So you'll see what I'm doing here, just so there's some transparency. Houston would go here after Philly. No, St. Louis, I'm sorry. Because St. Louis did not lose a pick. Philly, St. Louis. Am I doing that right? Let me look on here for a sec. I had Philly, St. Louis, Texas, Houston, or Philly, St. Louis, Houston. We'll go here. Texas goes here. Atlanta here. Tampa here. Then Arizona, Washington, Angels. Okay. That is correct. That is the proper order. That is what has been screwed up thanks to Out of the Park. Here's the problem. I'm not going to do this button yet because we're in a round that doesn't have 30. San Francisco does not have a selection in this round. You'll notice there's only 23 picks. Yes, I understand it's not right in Stats Plus also. That's the next thing I have to adjust. So I'm going, again, 14, 15. Now I'm looking at Stats Plus and I'm going to make the adjustments. So Houston, where Texas is. Texas, where Atlanta is. Atlanta, where Tampa is. And then Tampa, where you see Houston. Okay. Round 3 is finally proper. It's proper, you know? That's what MC Hammer would say. Proper. All right. Eddie has already made his selection. And you can see it. It's Jason Hawthorne. No pomp and circumstances. I'm now just getting back and functional. Jason Hawthorne has been the selection for the Miami Marlins with the first pick of the 2nd round. San Francisco yielded that pick through a free agent acquisition, and with qualifying offers in place, then a 3rd round pick got surrendered in that instance. So Hawthorne from Buffalo, New York, community created player of Stinkins, has been selected 1st round. He is a freshman over at Bethel in St. Paul, Minnesota. Great contact, good table setter type player, pretty decent speed as well. He'll definitely have 20 stolen base potential, you have to think, over his career. Defense is respectable considering he plays on the right side of the diamond. The arm is not considered to be of average. We're not talking Chuck Knobloch here, but we absolutely cannot say that he's going to be known and being memorable for his defense. But those are all things that can be improved over time. Jason Hawthorne has been selected with the first pick here of the 3rd round. All right, Cubbies are up. Jake just whispered. got his who he wants. All right, the pick is in for the Cubs. Who are they going with it in the third round? They will go after community-created player Kenny Lindbergh from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, doing his ball over in Arizona, the freshman. 18 home runs this season out in the desert, 62 runs batted in. Great power game, kind of average in everything else, but the above average ability for his power and respectable defense, but a very solid speed game for first baseman, which is a bit uncharacteristic for the position. Kenny Lindbergh will be drafted by the Chicago Cubs here with the second pick of the third round. That'll get us over to the Toronto Blue Jays. Harris, are you here, sir? I did not see if you had been. You go look. I got a ton of messages again. Yep. All right. Harris is here. When you're ready, let me know and whisper the pick that you've got. On deck, because it's a weird round due to players, teams not having selections. We have after the Toronto, we have Cincinnati, Oakland, and Colorado. I will be picking for Oakland again this evening. Okay, I see your selection. I have it. Go ahead and put it in on Stats Plus, please, Harris, as we reveal the Blue Jays selection. Coming from South Hadley, Massachusetts, right-hander Omari Hare, 6'5" senior, playing in Fairfield, Connecticut for Ludlow High School. 8-2 record with a 1.12 ERA. Understand he had a strained quad earlier in the season, costing him a couple of starts. 179 strikeouts and 104 innings of work. Absolutely dominant with that fastball. Also throws a very deceptive circle change and an even better curveball. So we have to think that Hare, with his three-pitch combination, he can develop another pitch. He could be an absolute stud on the ball field. I think that's a great selection by the Toronto Blue Jays as they will draft Omari Hare from New England with their selection. Not sure if you heard me, so I will... Oh, never mind. You just got it done. Very good. Thank you. JR, you are here. Good timing for you, sir. We are up to your pick. If you need any assistance, let me know, since I know you've been a busy boy with the start of the baseball year. I can go with your list. I see a couple of players have been taken on that list, but you let me know what you have in mind here. There's the whisper. Okay, it is where I thought you were going to go. We'll get that one queued up for you. And let's reveal our selection. Go ahead, put that in Stats Plus, JR. The Cannon, Camden Clark. He's a community-created player from Jay Clarkster from Gahanna, Ohio. He's not going to be going far, as he is also a freshman at Ohio, like the Gorgalicious Booty Whopper. Solid defensive mindset for the catcher, but not going to be a disappointing offensive talent. I'd say still a step below Tyler Stevenson, at least in what we've seen from him thus far, but everything is all speculation at this point. The 19-year-old is going to be a solid presence back there, a robust 6'2", 225 behind the dish. He has looked pretty impressive playing for Ohio this season. .330 average, 12 home runs, and 68 runs batted in. Most people said that if you gave him 150 games in a year, he'd hit 12 home runs. But he's shown in 63 games in college level, yes, with a metal bat, that he can do it. So, Camden Clark, drafted with the pick by the Cincinnati Reds. Can always hope, but there's no promises on them. That's the risk. All right, Oakland is up. Let me turn myself on as the Oakland GM here. Yes, I'm going to turn myself on.
That's what she said.
Yep, I'm sure that's what she said. So, let me see. Almost there, gang. Just looking at two things. Okay, I've made the decision for the Athletics. Let me just do one last thing, and then I will have us ready to go here. There we go. Let's get the selection in for the Oakland Athletics. They will select from Mexico City. Playing his ball in Texas these days for Orange Grove High School, Julio Hernandez, who was a 1.0 player back in the day. Absolute phenomenal control for the sinker baller, who also complements that with two different downward motion balls in the splitter and the forkball. Does sport a changeup, although that's considered to be one of his weakest pitches. Low to mid 90s on the fastball. Fairly decent movement. Not been known to be a strikeout guy as you take a peek at the 1.0 version of Hernandez. I know that sometimes that information is hard to see. 119 wins, had more losses than wins in the time. ERA, 4.5 ERA over 2,200 innings. He had just over 1,000 strikeouts in that time. But he's a leader. He's a driver. I think he'll be able to translate better in the 2.0 universe when you give him the opportunity. He's trying to go to Wichita State. If he does not sign a deal, he's not asking for a huge amount of dollars, and that's something that the Athletics absolutely need to be mindful of, is the finances. So 10-2 with a 1.24 ERA and 158 strikeouts. So at the high school level, he can mow them down, but we'll see how that translates in the majors as he gets, well, at least as he gets into the drafting process. Julio Hernandez selected by the Athletics. That gets us to Lloyd Boston and the Colorado Rockies. Let's see. Just trying to see if I've got Lloyd's info. He sent me a long list. Also have to look at this. I assume this might update as well. Okay, so I'm looking. Jesus Christ, Jedi Cats. I pooped myself a little. Jeez, Jason, that scared the bejesus out of me as I was focused. I was focused reading a draft list, and Jason like, I'm going to drop some Jedi Cats on you. All right, now let me get back to this list. I think I have found a winner here for the Rockies. Let me double check. Yep, that is the winner. Let me get it queued up. Cleveland will be on deck, followed by the Red Sox. Pick is in. Let's go check it out. They're going to go with the shortstop, Juan Serpis from Denver, Colorado. They're going with the local kid. He's playing his ball at Oklahoma State as a junior. 6'2", athletic, 195, absolutely solid speed player, good defense, good reading of situation, plays most infield positions pretty confidently, even has dabbled as an outfielder as well. Got a massive power stroke as he has hit 50 home runs in his college career thus far, but has never hit over 300. That is the worry for him. Is he the type that's going to be about a 230 hitter while hitting 20-25 home runs a year, maybe even 30 home runs when you're playing at Coors Field? That will be the questions to be answered as Juan Serpis gets drafted here by the Colorado Rockies. All right, Cleveland will be up. This is the 7th pick of the 3rd round. Remember, this is an abbreviated round for us. Okay, Sadie, got your message on that. When you hear the chimes, go right ahead and put the pick in. All right, selection is in. Let's go check out what Cleveland is bringing aboard. They will go after the man from Boston, Slambino, a.k.a. the man, community created player of PJ9248. PJ, congratulations. And PJ, don't forget, for all of my winners from the Out of the Park Twitch, or my Twitch giveaway on my partner celebration, I've got copies of Out of the Park 23 coming not long after this draft is done. PJ is going to be one of those that's won it, and he's also won his selection by the Cleveland Indians in the 3rd round. 6'2", 210 pounds, over at Northeastern as a freshman. Hit .324 this year with 13 homers and 61 runs batted in. Respectable game for first. Also has some backup with third baseman as a third baseman as well. Definitely considered to be able to hit above average, so we've got to peg Slambino as the type to be a 270, 275 hitter over his career. We'll see if he can bring the power that you would expect as a first base position, but he has a complement. He's not going to really knock you in any one particular area. I think this is a pretty solid pick to develop and could definitely turn into a prominent part of this Indians organization. Sadie, are you good with putting that in? I haven't seen you add Slambino yet to Cleveland. If you need me to do that, please let me know. Oh, never mind. There it is. There it is. And with that, we got the Red Sox. That selection is already in. Let's go check out who the Red Sox have selected. Red Sox will take another community created player off the board. This one is Brent Utley, our community created player of Brent 3232, our one part of the universe that we do his work by email. Brent played over at BYU in Utah, the Salt Lake City native, solid contact, absolutely drives the ball into various areas. Not the biggest home run hitter with the way his swing is formed, but he can get the bat on the ball. He's got a great arm. Could develop his defensive talents a bit more. Third baseman who also doubles as a first baseman. Not going to have much of a running game as it's not his priority. But again, a good developing player that could definitely turn out for the Red Sox here in case there's ever a need to move on from either Danny Diaz or from Rafi Devers. Brent Utley, drafted by the Boston Red Sox. That is you, Brent. Congratulations. Red Sox have selected you. That puts the Padres on to the board. Padres have already put their selection in place. We have it. Let's go. I hit the button weird, apparently. So, Sebastis Wagner, the shortstop, also community creative player of Sebastis, has been drafted by the San Diego Padres. Known for his defensive prowess, he's not going to be a disappointment in regards to his hitting ability. Got to realistically assume Wagner is a bottom of the lineup kind of hitter, but not because he's a terrible hitter, just because that might be where he maximizes his benefit for you to have a productive bottom of the lineup. Yes, fun fact, he is the great grandson of Honus Wagner. He is going to try to do Granddaddy proud. St. Louis, Missouri native, playing his freshman ball at Louisville, Kentucky. Just getting drafted here, the 73rd overall pick by the San Diego Padres. That'll get us to the New York Mets. Denbrew has just whispered me his pick. Dear Lord. Can't find him. There he is. Okay. All right. If you are ready, go right ahead. Denbrew, put your pick in. Here comes the selection for the New York Mets in this round. Hi, neighbor. Mr. Rogers is coming to the Big Apple as Fred Rogers, community creative player of Statsmonger. Hey, in the 70s, this was the bomb, gang. You better believe it.
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine?
Mid-90s fastball for Rogers. Complements that with a sinker and a cutter. Circle change that he's been working on, and actually they project that that could be average to an above average pitch. He was 11-3 playing for Rollins in Winter Park, Florida this past year. Latrobe, Pennsylvania native, known to have a pretty solid work ethic and a natural leader, just very mild-mannered type of guy. That's the trolley right there. That you got to call that the trolley indeed.
Please won't you be my neighbor?
Will be your neighbor, Mr. Rogers. Congratulations, as Statsmonger's player has been selected. So, if the fastball is going to be called the trolley, then which one of the pitches will be known as Mr. McFeely? And when he wins, will it be King Friday? That'd be my guess. Boom. All right, Mr. Rogers, drafted to the Mets That'll get us over to the Dodgers. Chris, are you here, sir, or are we going off of a list? Chris is here. All right. Gotta be the curve, because I love to McFeely the curves. Aha, I see what you did there. I'll drink to that one. All right, Dodgers have just whispered. Selection has been made. Ooh, you know what? Chris, I've got to ask you to make a new selection. If you look in the draft pool, you will, if you look in the game, you'll not see him there. He got lost from the glitch. That is a player that is going to officially declare he's not on the he's on the list in the Discord. So I see some of you guys hunting for community created players, but this is a player that you just whispered that's not going to be in this draft. He'll be in the next draft. Thanos gave him the snap. That's probably pretty fair. Holy crap! The world is ending. Nick Foligno just scored a goal. Will wonders ever cease? All right. Let me set up here because I've got it ready to go. Selection is in by the Dodgers. Apologies again for the misinformation. I just forgot to take it down because I only found out after I announced the pools released that the player you had in mind had not survived the snap, as we had to use the backup and that lost that player. So here we go. They will go after community created player of Minnesota GM Daryl Sin. This is Chuck DeGraffenreid, third baseman from Chickasha, Oklahoma, playing at UCLA. That's our third UCLA player that's been drafted of late. Xavier Odom was the first to be drafted tonight. Hit 269 with 16 round trippers, 45 runs batted in. Known to go for the downs, but a bit of his swing is not as uppercut. So he's more of a doubles type of hitter who will definitely hit his fair share of home runs. DeGraffenreid could use some work in a few areas, we think, or at least he could be suspect in some areas. But again, anything is potential when you're especially talking about community-created players. Pac-12 getting decimated. All right, Mariners have already made their pick. Okay, let's go ahead and put the selection in at the chime. Here comes the pick. Oh, look at Daryl being salty, especially without boost. Steve Lombardo, the right-hander from Alderwood Manor, Washington. Being selected, he's committed to Cal State Fullerton. I think that's at least their second player that we've run into that's planning to go to Cal State unless convinced to go elsewhere. He's a thin 160-pound right-hander who throws, well, he doesn't throw hard. I mean, he throws his hardest. But what's good about him is he does actually have the ability to pitch when he's got it working. He has a changeup that they say can be very high end. And he even throws a different changeup with the circle change that comes in on the right-handers especially. Complements that with a low mid-90s fastball as well as a curveball that's worked pretty well. It has done him well since his sophomore year. He has not lost. Ignore that first line. We're going to say for the last 4 seasons, he's lost a total of 2 games. And the last time he lost, he was a freshman. Bombardo knows how to win, as you can see. He's a dominant type pitcher. He's had over 550 strikeouts in his last 3 seasons in high school. So that looks like it could translate into very good talent. The questions are, can he keep the ball over the plate, or can he keep the ball in the park? Those will be the challenges we'll find out, and the Mariners will be the ones to figure it out as well. Steve Bombardo, drafted by the Mariners there. That'll put the Brewers up. Jason, if you are still here. I already added them in for you, that's why. And since Hetz hasn't done it, I'm doing it now. Just so I don't forget and we fall behind. Or never mind. It's already been done, I think. It must have been. Yep, Bombardo is in. Brewers are up. Jason. Oh, well, thank you, Scott. I just finally saw your whisper. Flattery will get you everywhere, sir. Just have to get permission from the wife first, if you know what I mean. All right. Okay. Pick is in from the Brew Crew. Let's see what Jason Hillman would like to bring aboard here in the 3rd round. They're going to go after the left fielder from Yorba Linda, California. Now playing his ball over at Riverside Christian High School in Riverside, California. That is 18-year-old Jim Castillo. Castillo just has a phenomenal ability to put the bat on the ball and drive it to all areas. He has been hitting over 500 in high school for the last couple of seasons. While he has the home run capability, the biggest thing to focus on is that he doesn't have a history of showing any patience of sticking around. He sees a pitch, he wants to drive it. That could be used against him with the aggressiveness that he has. So far at the high school level, he has been a solid, athletic, capable player who's not going to hurt you in many parts. Absolutely great prospect, planning to go to Arizona State if he does not work out with Milwaukee. Got to think Milwaukee would like to have him come aboard, especially where we're having talk of Christian Yelich possibly being moved. Jim Castillo, drafted. That'll put the Twins up. You don't walk off the island. What did I miss? Gang, if you could do me a favor, when you're sending me your selection, remember there is over 800 players still out there, or 787. If you would kindly include the position so that I'm not trying to recall. Some I know it right by heart. Others, I just would love it if you could add that for me so I'm not scrambling here. All right, I have Minnesota's selection in. Let's get her going. Oh, yes, okay. You don't walk off the island. That's true. Very good. Here comes the selection for Minnesota. They will go after a 1.0 player in Boyd Briggs, the second baseman. If I remember correctly, Briggs did not have much of a career. Give me a moment as I try to cue that up. As you take a peek at Briggs from Mullins, West Virginia. Briggs is one that I struggle to remember when I think about him. And as you look at his 1.0 history, you see why I struggled with that. He was a Cub for the later part of the eMLB era. He was still in the midst of his career, but it wasn't really memorable. 268 hitter with just 27 home runs in 2,300 innings of work which definitely translates why he's not known as a power hitter here, but he is dangerous. He did have a career-high 43 stolen bases in one season in eMLB, so he does have that capability. He's a solid defender. He's an amazing defender. If anything, maybe just better to be focused as a second baseman. I don't feel like he has the range to be able to play the left side of the diamond very well, but he will play and be very good at his position. He will put bat on ball. He may be a better number 2 guy than he is a leadoff guy for his ability to be able to not strike out. He has struck out in his time at Stanford not even 60 times in 3 seasons with Stanford. Boyd Briggs, 20 years old, will turn 21 in October, drafted here by the Minnesota Twins. Might be a third baseman with the arm. It's just the range is kind of suspect, but still range is more, it's more reaction over a third base than anything. All right, Briggs is in. That puts Philly up. I still have a instructions from him, and he has his selection all ready to go. All right, selection is in for the Phillies. Let's go check it out. That's why God invented booze. You're funny. They will select Mike Cheville, and I hope I've said that correctly. He's also known as Magic Mike. He's a switch-hitting 18-year-old from the San Francisco area, now a high school senior in Turlock, California for Pittman High School, planning to go to UC Irvine, so he's going to be keeping it in California unless he is heading to Philly on this deal. Known for a solid bat. He puts bat on ball. He can get extra bases thanks to his speed. He can keep the strikeouts down. He has more walks than strikeouts in his high school career. The most important thing to understand with him, he hasn't seen a pitch he hasn't liked. And he doesn't necessarily go for home runs. He sacrifices the power to get bat on ball, a little bit of the Ichiro Suzuki mindset. He'll play a very respectable center field and a good enough arm that if he had to play the corner, he's probably better for a right fielder. Not going to be mind-blowing speed. That's the biggest thing that we would say for Cheville. But he will be an absolute pest if he can continue to develop where scouts are projecting he will go. Mike Cheville, selected by the Philadelphia Phillies with their selection. It's the 15th pick, 79th overall in this draft. That gets us to the 80th, and that will be the St. Louis Cardinals, and there's Aju with his selection. He has given me his choice. Okay, Andrew, go ahead, put it into Stats Lab for me, please, and thank you. Astros will be on deck. Rangers in the hole. Here comes the selection for the Cardinals. They will draft the freshman from Notre Dame, from London, Ontario, Canada, Cavacom. Again, back in that premise, are us streamers all so egotistical that we just go by our streaming names? Apparently. That's not picking on Kava. I've been saying it for anyone else, and we've got plenty of us that have done it. So it's all good. We will have fun with it. The London, Ontario native, 6'3", 210 pounds. Solid right-hander, throws mid-90s with the fastball, has a pretty solid sinker, can keep that ball down and influence the double play, which I know is a St. Louis special that he would absolutely love to have. The question mark is that third and fourth pitch going to be good enough to complement with the hard stuff that he throws? But he's a lefty? No, he's not a lefty. He's a smart guy. They say he's got a good ability to mind the game, knows his situation. He should be a good complement, should be a good overall player that's going to develop within the St. Louis organization. I think he'll have a good time down in Busch Stadium. Kavacom, welcome to St. Louis, sir. Astros will be up. The Astros have their selection. Let's go check it out. They're going to go after the player known as the Big Bass, the 6'4" left-hander from Truth or Consequences, New Mexico. Our second player from that area, Jumbo Cox, community-created player of Eleanor Frisbee. You haven't seen Eleanor here of late. Eleanor wanted me to use Pollywonk Junior College. No such thing in the database. I said I need an actual name of a school that's in the OOTP database. So we decided on UNC. Cox, known to be a respectable left-handed hitter out of the box. Actually, even though pretty tall for a center fielder at 6'4", 220. Gets out of the box pretty good. Could be a surprise with the base hitter too, using the bunt. Not known to be the most disciplined. Not had a history of reading situations well to hustle for extra bases. Cox could be a good developing player. Won't be a stellar outfielder, but will be above average performer. Just depends on whether or not center field or one of the corner fields will be the position. We just found Jeremy Porn's natural rival. That makes an awful lot of sense. Jumbo Cox has been drafted by the Houston Astros with their selection. Oh, Jamie, you didn't wait. At least wait till the chimes go, sir. Texas Rangers up. Pick is in. This will be another community-created player. This one is from Buffalo Jack out of Tonawanda, New York. It's Jack Traynor, freshman over at Stony Brook. Good all-around game from the 6', 200-pound left-hander in center field. Has also played in left field as well. Range is respectable. Speed pretty good. Just never been known to be a dominant stolen base person, or at least the sight is that his first couple of steps slow him down a bit as he doesn't get the biggest jump out of the gate. We'll see if that's something he can work on. But he is going to be a respectable game overall. Can hit for average. He'll not be mind-blowing, at least in the current look at him. The Buffalo Jack is a player that you got to expect has that ability to adapt to the situation. So says the adaptability chat. Jack Traynor has been selected by the Texas Rangers with the 18th pick of the 3rd round. That'll have the Atlanta Braves up. Aiden, I think, is... Let's see. Rays Rule, are you here right now, sir? I gotta see if I have an updated list. I'm looking to see how I'm doing Aiden's selection here. Okay. Instruction unable to attend, so. Oh, I guess he's here. He's just made a selection. All right, Braves pick is in. Let's go check it out. They will select the right-hander from Lubbock, Texas, playing at Rawls High School. It's the senior, Pat Jackson. The right-hander, 6', 2, throws a fastball mid-90s, has a slider. Changeup hasn't been something that he has worked with, but for a player who's never lost in high school, why bother if you don't have to fool anybody? Game has come across maybe too easy for Jackson thus far, that he may have neglected working on secondary pitches, but the story on him is he's got great movement that can move far enough rotations on the ball that he can throw and keep balls in the park, keeping that ball working down. Don't know if it'll translate to strikeouts. It has so far at the high school level, but that is a different story. Pat Jackson is planning to go to North Carolina. He had committed there before being drafted here by the Braves. We'll keep an eye on that. But Pat Jackson has been drafted by the Atlanta Braves here in the 3rd round. That puts the Rays back up. Charles, I don't know if you are here right now. He did send me an extensive list. I do see a player on his list that's available. Letting him know. Okay, thank you, Aiden. I've got your instructions here, and I will use that. And hopefully, because it is 7:48, we'll hope to get through to the 5th round, because as soon as TJ goes live, we're going to have to end it. We're trying to get all 5 rounds in first and foremost here. All right, I'm not going to wait on Charles. He gave me enough instructions. The player that he has chosen was 4th on his list. So I've got to think he'll be fine with this as his selection here. Hold on, as he's just replying just as I put the pick in. Too late. Tommy Springer, the right-hander, 6'2". He's a 1.0 player. Again, to save time, I'm not going to really delve into it. Senior over at Caldwell County High School in Princeton, Kentucky. He's grown up in Kentucky. Another Cal State Fullerton committed player here this season. Throws a good mid-90s fastball that he can keep in the zone. He can work the strike zone very well. It's a question of whether or not his curveball, slider, and changeup will be enough to complement the overall game that Springer will have or be able to bring. But he's understood to be a good, solid gym rat type player. Seems to be a good student of the game. And again, just grown up in the area, loves everything about Princeton. We'll see if he adapts well either to going to Cal State or heading towards Florida. All right, Arizona Diamondbacks are up. Aaron, this time I think I will see. Yep, hey, I saw your message right away. That's good. All right, I see your pick. If you could put that into Stats Plus right now, I'd greatly appreciate it. Nationals will be on deck in a moment. Here comes the Diamondbacks pick. Tommy will be up afterwards. J.J. Norris, left-handed hitting, or I should say a lefty hitting shortstop from Bloomington, Minnesota, currently playing and living in Watertown, Minnesota, a high school senior at Watertown Mayer High School out there, hitting .431 this season. Not known for power, 4 career home runs in his high school stay. Yes, I'm ignoring the 2021 year, stupid OOTP. Known for his phenomenal defense, good speed, but not known for his stealing capability over his time, or expected to be a real stolen base thief. It's going to be kind of your bottom third of the order lineup that's trying to just get you back to the top of the order. He's really going to have his best value on the field with a rocket arm and solid awareness of the left side of the diamond. J.J. Norris, drafted by the Arizona Diamondbacks. All right, this is one I do want to show. because there's a good story behind him. What in the world just happened there? Jesus, hold on. There we go. Sorry. Okay. Nationals selection is in. Angels will be up after this. Let's go check it out. Nationals will draft the left-handed 21-year-old from Sacramento, California. His name is Mike Spiegel. He's a junior over at Fresno Pacific. Solid lefty with upper 90s fastball. Great cutter that comes in hard against the right-handed hitters. The slider that could use some benefit, as well as the changeup. Now, this is a player that in the 1.0 era looked like he was going to be dominant in the second season that you saw in 2002. 19-3 with a 2.31 ERA. 214 innings of work back in the 1.0 era. That was Cy Young type potential, and then it just vanished. It just vanished. It's like he all of a sudden just forgot how to pitch. So the 1.0 era of Mike Spiegel was always, could he get back to what you saw in the 2002 year? It never panned out. This is what it translates to here. Injury is always the possibility. Spiegel has the potential. The thing is I just don't know if he has the overall talent. That's what the 1.0 player ended up being at the end. 1.0 players cannot get boosted outside of getting off-season training. In Spiegel's case, I didn't have off-season training programs created until after he had retired. So once I introduced it, now that's a way to maybe work on him a bit more and develop him and maybe improve on things to give him that extra edge he could use. But so far, it's just promise and potential. Mike Spiegel will see if he can have a better career than the 55-62 record with 4.49 ERA that he mustered in the other universe. All right, Angels selection to end this round. Their pick is in. Let's go. Oh, that didn't work. Okay, there he is. That's why. I was too far down. There we go. Let's go check out. Oh, never mind. Another thing. All right, go ahead and put him in, Tom, as we finish up round 3 here. Angels will select the 18-year-old right-hander Mike Carson, hailing from Shiloh, Illinois, now down in St. Louis, Missouri at Watkins High School. Was 9-0 this year with a 0.51. He transferred down to St. Louis with his family, and he translated that into 21 consecutive victories in Watkins High School. He never lost the game. It's like he found a new gear as soon as he was transferred down into St. Louis from Illinois. He played phenomenally well. He did have an injury. It didn't throw him off when he was playing. But when he did have an injury that cost him about 3 weeks of play, it cost him several starts. When he finally came back, he was rock solid once again. He is planning to go to Wichita State unless he will sign with the world champions. Mike Carson can throw upper 100s. He'll touch 100 pretty regularly, we would suspect. Has a curveball, and again, another case of a player who's never needed to rely much on the off-speed pitch to make his presence felt. We'll see if that's something he can translate, because he will desperately need that. The scouts believe the way he has thrown it, if he would rely on it more, he could be a phenomenal pitcher with that pitch. Mike Carson, 3-pitch pitcher from St. Louis, Missouri, has been drafted by the Los Angeles Angels. That will end the 4th round. All right, so before, third round, excuse me. So before we go onward, I have to fix this, and the good news is that I should be able to fix this for the rest and move forward. Okay. Cubs will have 3 picks in this round. There are 3 supplemental picks in this round. It is the Angels 30th. You got the Cubs picking twice. It should actually, in all honesty, it should be Cubs, Astros, Cubs. It honestly should. So I am making that material change. Because if you have multiple supplemental picks, you shouldn't have both back to back. Just showing that material change that I just made there. All right, now I just need to make one last adjustment. Let me make sure I have the draft order as it needs to be. So, Kansas City, Milwaukee, serial killer. The serial killer. He's gonna eat my Fruit Loops. Okay. Congrats. That's a boost for you. And I also read your article yesterday, which was also good. Go with the list. Well, we already went with the list, Charles. And yes, you love corn. We already know that. All right. So, Minnesota. Philly, right here. Here's what I've got to fix. So, Minnesota, Philly, St. Louis, Houston, Texas is good, Atlanta is good, Tampa is good, Pittsburgh belongs here. 27th goes to Detroit. 28th is Arizona, 29th is Washington, 30th is the Angels. That is the selection. So I'm going to play it safe. I'm not going to do the use current order for all remaining rounds. I'm also going to have to fix this on Stats Plus. So please be patient. We're not going to be long. Switching it up. Confirm. Okay, so Philly is 20th. Let's see what I'm working on now. 21st is St. Louis. 22nd is Houston. 23rd is Texas. 24 Atlanta. 25 Tampa. 26 is Pittsburgh. 27 is Detroit. And there you go. So Detroit, Arizona, everyone else is in order. We are now ready for the 4th round. Thank you for your patience. Time for a beer break. 1 hour to get 2 rounds done. We've got 3 minutes per pick. No one make me use the timer. That would be absolutely great as we get this 4th round started. So let's go right to the selection. Oh, no wonder why I couldn't find the player. Because I was in the wrong freaking area. Nerder. I'm so silly. Go ahead, put it in now for Stats Plus, Sean. He's going to go after his community-created player. It is Killer Cam Candela. Switch hitting 19-year-old from Newburgh, New York. He's a freshman over at Fordham, New York. The story on him, great defensive talent and a natural listener. He takes guidance very well. He is expected to just flow into it. One of those kids that just loves what he does, and it will translate into results. So we'll see if it does, as Cam Candela, community created player of Sean Paxler, has just been drafted by the Giants. That's 3 players that he now owns of his own. Miami Marlins will be up. Eddie. Hi, Billy. Okay, I see Miami's selection. Selection is in. Let's check out who Miami's got. Yeah, no school today for the kids. Send help for a week and a half. Yikes. Center fielder is Juicin. He's Dutch, so it's Juicin. He's from Heerenveen in the Netherlands. Played some ball in Miami this past season as a freshman, 16 home runs. He is the community created player of Old and Slow, one of my favorite nicknames. Not named Rob Deer in the Headlights. I love it. Was at the top of your board. Juice in the 19-year-old, respectable defense, considered to have plus talent in pretty much all offensive calendars. Yeah, in all offensive calendars and all offensive categories. Nothing that he's overly dominant in, but he will bring respectable, consistent results is the expectation for him. Should be a good selection here to start off our 4th round here for the Miami Marlins. Is a juicing, man. All right, Chicago White Sox. Josh, what do you got? Yeah, everyone again has got 3 minutes to make their pick from when I call them. I'm also going to be more abbreviated with my talk about players. Discord. Oh, you've got to be difficult and you put it on Discord. Couldn't whisper me here on Twitch, huh? Oh. Just give me the crap. Selection is in. If you could put it on Stats Plus now, please and thank you. That would be great. Hey, you take it easy on the cherry wheat. Huh. Jonathan Bizzo from Detroit, Michigan. Originally from there, now hailing in the Washington region, planning to go to a JUCO college. Was given the impression he might not be ready to go. Well, tell that to the White Sox as they came a-calling. He's got knowledge of all 3 areas, a pretty solid defender. Not going to be a disappointment either on the running game. Expected to be a type of hitter. He's been talked about as being another 275, 280 type hitter. And he did pretty good. Again, he's not going to be your home run type hitter, but he's going to be a respectable role player on pretty much any team. That's the story being given on him. And he seems to be a very good listener and takes a lot of advice, so he should be a very coachable type of player, which is always a plus. Jonathan Bizzo selected, the switch hitting center fielder for the White Sox here with their 3rd selection of round 4. That'll put the Cubbies in for their first of 3 picks. I almost said 4. They got 3 picks in this particular round. 2 of them are compensatory. Position, please. Again, if you are here, please include a position because there's still 774 players, and I would rather not be trying to find them through that long list if I don't have to. Thank you. Okay, found your player. If you want to go ahead and put him in on Stats Plus, let's do it. They will select the center fielder from Bostonia, California. Another guy that wants to go to UCLA. UCLA would like him to ignore Chicago so that they don't lose so many prospects or talents of theirs. The 6-foot-tall Harris, another athletic type player, just great hand-eye coordination. They project he is going to be a stingy one on strikeouts, that they'll consider if he played a full season. More than 90 strikeouts would be a bad season for Harris. Absolute baseball rat. He's a guy who just loves being around the ballpark. He's the type of energy that just can be embraced. We'll see if the Chicago faithful at Wrigley will embrace him well. Kevin Harris has been drafted by the Chicago Cubs, their first of 3 picks in this round. That gets us over to the New York Yankees. They have their selection in. Let's go check it out. I ain't pronouncing this freaking school. Are you kidding me? Randy Ojeda, 18 years old, from a school that has an identity crisis. Planning to go to Texas A&M. The left-hander has hit north of 400 pretty regularly throughout his high school career. Just a natural offensive talent. The game comes pretty easy to him. They project him to have some solid home run potential. They project for him to be an above-average hitter. Not really a focused player on his ability to play the field, and not known to be a fast guy for a pretty thin-based guy for an athletic frame. But he will still be a pest when he gets on the base paths. Randy Ojeda has been drafted by the Yankees. And again, with a guy who's got home run potential as a lefty, the Yankee Stadium is always a good place that you can end up. Randy Ojeda has been selected. That puts the Blue Jays back on the dot. I know Harris is here. Harris has his pick. I love the energy. Oh yeah, the old CFYO. All right, Blue Jays selection is in. Harris, if you can put that in the Stats Plus, please and thank you. Reds will be on deck after this selection. Well, ain't you lucky? No, literally. He's lucky. Lefty Littles, community credit player of Skip. Fellow Out of the Park streamer affiliate, Lefty Littles, the left-hander. Kind of a long reliever, submariner type pitcher. He's got the potential to be a starter, but he may have some specialty more in a long relief role. We'll see how he wants to work his career. But Littles throws a solid upper 90s sinker ball as a submariner. That's got to have some nasty movement. Complements that with a curveball, a slider, and a splitter. Nasty quick move over to first base are going to keep the batters, the runners, very honest over at that position. Good movement on the pitches. He was able to limit himself to just 5 home runs playing for the Washington Huskies this past year as a freshman. Left-hander from Bellingham, Washington, staying local, is now going to go north of the border as he's drafted by the Toronto Blue Jays. Reds are up. Reds have already hit me up. Pick is selected. You spelled his name wrong, JR, so be sure when you put him in on Stats Plus that you get it right, but I know who you meant. Here comes the selection. Reds will select the right-handed senior from San Jose State, 22-year-old Wally Kazir. He's a 6'2" right-hander, low to mid-90s fastball. Curveball probably is the better pitch that he has. Complements that with a changeup. There's one question about him is, and that's part why he stayed throughout his senior year, does he bring the energy every game? He's been questionable at times in regards to his talent. Not known to be a real leader type player. He knows the game. The question is, can he apply that and provide benefit? Does he make others around him well? When he's up, he's got a pretty good chance of being a very useful right-handed pitcher. He'll have the challenge, of course, that any pitcher does, pitching at Great American Ballpark, which seems to be prone to home runs a little bit more. Not to the Coors variety, but of course you understand what we mean. Wally Kaiser being drafted by the Reds here in the 4th round. Athletics are up again. That means time for me to get back and act as a GM for a moment. All right, I think I have the one I want. Let me go cue it up here. Oakland, Colorado will be on deck after this. There we go. Here it comes. Athletics will select this center fielder from Chicago, Illinois, Randy Williamson, who's playing over at Chicago Academy this past year. He's committed to go over to play for Iowa and his college days. A tremendous outfielder, covers an awful lot of ground. Very confident, very swift with his moves, and very good route reading coming from Williamson. He's not a terrible bat either, has very good awareness of the plate, seems to use that to his advantage, and can definitely hit the ball to all fields. Not going to be a phenomenal power hitter, but he's going to be respectable. You can expect Williamson to be a 10 to 15 home run type of guy. Might not be a 20 stolen base guy with the speed he possesses. Just a little question mark of his ability to know when to steal and not is the question on him. But he's a pretty good all-around player here that the Athletics will bring aboard, and he fits that moniker for a budget-friendly team. He's been hinted at as just loving the game and not wanting to play the game regardless, which means probably be cheaper. Rockies will be up. Got to go to the list. The long list of Lloyd. Think I see a player on the list. Yep. I got the player. Let me put it here. Indians will be on deck. Red Sox are after. Billy, if you're going to make the selection, let me know because it looks like you're on a list here. All right, Rock's pick is in. Let's go check it out. They will select another center fielder off the boards. This one from Eagleton Village, Tennessee. Left-handed Steven Rubinstein, playing in Georgia now these days for Ringgold High School, planning to go to Long Beach State if he does not get signed here. The 6'1" athletic center fielder, solid speed. He'll be in trouble on the base pass. They don't believe he's got the best awareness of the base pass, but he will be trouble with his ability to get out there and get going. Good, going to be a good defender. He's known because of that speed. He's going to be able to absolutely hit for doubles, and he's got a great swing. They think he will be able to go very deep quite regularly, and with Coors Stadium on your side, That's got to translate to some huge upside potential. So Steve Rubinstein will find a future for himself in Coors Field as a 4th round selection here. That will put Sadier up. His selection is in. What is going on here? Oh my god.
Evil does not wear a bonnet!
Sean Paxler with the gifted sub. And that's going to be a half boost for Ludwig. Or I should say Lud now. I got to remember to. It's Lud. Alright, sorry, that's not what I wanted. Okay. Selection is ready to go. Go ahead and put it in if you now know how to. Sadier, let's show you the pick. Sir, you just got drafted. Hello? No, the other way. No, the other way. Yes, that way. What? Jeez. Never mind. Vincent Vega has been drafted if he ever figures out where he's supposed to go. Community created player of Eazy-E out of Los Angeles, California. Played his ball at UC Santa Barbara. Hit .316 this past year. 7 home runs, 46 runs batted in. Known to have a questionable eating diet. Apparently his favorite things is eating hamburgers with mayonnaise. Yeah. Good hand-eye coordination, should be able to keep the strikeouts down while hitting the ball well. Not known to provide a power ball hit. He realistically tries to put the ball on the ground and pound out the base hits further from there. Vega has been drafted by the Cleveland Indians, and I think the defense that he possesses could be a huge plus for his talent. All right, let me get Vega on to Cleveland. Hey, Extreme, thanks for sticking around. Drive safe out there tonight. Hey, Billy, do you want to go off of your list, or do you want to make a selection on your own here? Okay, very good. I will go off of your list since that's what you said. There's your player. Pretty high up according to OSA right now, so that's a good sign. Let's go see San Diego on deck. Let's check out the pick for the Red Sox. This is a kid who's just an enigma. He's an absolute charismatic individual, a tall 6'7" from San Diego, California. High schooler Josh Hinchy has been drafted by the Red Sox, planning to go to Cal State Fullerton like everybody else apparently. Considered a top student, he's a 4.0 GPA. He is a popular man on his high school campus, and he is just known as a hard worker in anything that he does. That should be a phenomenal player in the future. Brings a solid low to mid 90s fastball into play. The curveball is probably his better pitch, but the big question mark has been his tendency to leave the ball up in the zone, and that includes the fastball. That's his risk. his profile, it shows as an extreme fly ball type of player, which means he could be leaving a lot of balls to play off of the monster at Fenway. We will see as time goes. He's got the talent. He's got the control. He's got the ability to work the zone. It's a matter of whether or not he can be a long-term major leaguer with the rest of that. Any park that has a pitcher in it with a tendency to give up a lot, or the tendency to leave the ball up in the zone, is always going to have that risk. But Fenway Park might not be a great place to have that. Josh Hinchy, drafted by the Red Sox with their selection. That was the 98th pick of the draft. Onwards to number 99. I guess your list ran out, Steve. Steve, are you still here or are you gone, sir? Okay. Steve hasn't answered, so I've got to go by what he says. Okay, that's not the best set of instructions, but I'm going to go with what it tells me. Players, you know what? I should do this because I've seen this act a little weird. So, San Diego. Okay. It says your list is empty or you haven't turned your list on. So I'm going based on your instructions you sent in Whisper, Steve. So here comes your pick. Hopefully you like it. It's going to be the catcher, 17-year-old Steve Hill from West Catholic High School in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, planning to go to Illinois here this coming year. Pretty solid overall offensive type player. Nothing overly stellar. He's considered to be kind of your average catcher, not known for massive game calling ability or any of that. Doesn't have a cannon for an arm as advertised. He's not going to be a terrible catcher. He'll be an effective offensive-minded player. He can play first base, probably not in the mold that you would expect, but he'll be an above-average type of hitter, and that could work for a park where it's harder to hit offensively like Petco. This will be a good pick in this spot. Steve Hill, the 17-year-old high school senior, drafted by the San Diego Padres. All right. Mets are up. Mets have their pick. Saw it right away. Go ahead, put it in on Discord. Not Discord, on Stats Plus now, please. Dodgers are on deck. Tommy Tucker has been drafted by the New York Mets. The Colesville, Maryland native. Goes to the Smith Jewish Day School in Maryland. Planning to go to Ball State. 6'7", 200-pound imposing right-hander. Throws a pretty solid sinker, upper mid-90s. Another one of those guys that is just trying to blow it by people because he can throw it hard, and in not working on his secondary pitches could be a risk for him coming into the majors. Tommy Tucker does have a changeup, just did not use it tremendously much, but when you can win 9 in a row with a 0.79 ERA, that's exactly what you do. You just try to blow it by them until they start hitting it. Tommy Tucker, drafted by the Mets here with their selection. That was the 100th pick of the draft so far. Dodgers are up. Just sent a whisper. Selection is in. Mariners are on deck right after that. Let's go check out. Well, 1 second. I want to peek at something. All right, now I'm ready. Let's go. Check out the pick. Dodgers will select catcher Jim Lowell from Dallas, Texas, originally, now over in, now playing in Arkansas. The Razorback freshman hit .284 this year with 8 home runs and 48 runs batted in. He picked up the power game a little bit more. He hit almost as many home runs this season in college than he did his entire high school career, so he started to grow more into his frame. Here's the interesting thing. He is a 1.0 player. 1.0 player who didn't have much of a career. Really just not given the opportunity, my thought. His days in high heat baseball from 03 to 05 were good, but never given a real opportunity in the out of the park universe. So he ended up retiring pretty early. The 19-year-old definitely has the potential to be at least an average offensive-minded catcher, a solid defensive backstop that can definitely command and control a pitching game. He's got a respectable bat. Again, not going to be stellar. He's also going to be a guy that will be a pest, and he'll work counts, which can be just as helpful to his pitcher than just being behind the dish. Jim Lowell has been drafted by the Dodgers, another 1.0 player. You had him for 11 games there, Chris. You had him for 11 games. Then you know who had him after that? Jason Hillman had him after. Alrighty, Hetz has his selection in. Let's go check out. Oops, excuse me, I gotta change one thing here. Okay, Hetz, go ahead, put your pick in. Minerva will be on deck. Here comes the selection from the Mariners. They will go after a high school senior from Florida, Palmetto Ridge in Naples. It is Zach Hendrickson, 6-foot right-handed shortstop planning to go to Southern Mississippi. Not a real offensive talent, can project Hendrickson to be one of those super utility types of players that he's going to, if he has a good day, he's going to be a lot of trouble. Great defensive talent, absolute arm, guy makes double plays look very easily. Has solid speed, still could work on the game to make it more of a stolen base game. Again, he's not going to be a phenomenal type of hitter. The way he chooses to hit the ball, he sacrifices bat speed to keep bat on ball, limit the strikeouts. So he'll do his best to do that. Doesn't give us a lot of hope. He's going to be a high-hitting guy, so we're not sure if we're looking at a regular or if we're looking at a super utility type of player that you'll see 300-400 at bats throughout the year. Zach Hendrickson, though, could be a good, resourceful type of player to complement everything else you're doing. Never a bad pick to have guys like that. Seattle will take a chance on Hendrickson here in the 4th round. Royals are up. Minerva. I think one of your selections on your original list. Yep. Okay. You reaffirmed that. Go ahead and put him in this in Stats Plus. I'm going to keep calling it that. The Brewers are on deck. I don't know if Jason's still here, if the list is going to be good enough, but let's go to the Royals now. 8:30. Might not make it. Chris Hare has been selected from Pomona, California. Fresno State is where he is planning to go. Looks like a pretty solid third base type. Absolute cannon for an arm over there. He's just still got to work on the game. Not known to have the best reacted skills over at third. We'll see if he can translate that and continue to work on that. That can be taught. Should be able to hit for more home runs over his career and give him a park like Kauffman Stadium. He should be able to do pretty well for it. Don't see him as an upgrade over Jacques Landry at this point, but you never know. Chris Hare is just 17 years old. We'll see. He turns 18 in a couple of months. He just got drafted by the Kansas City Royals. Okay. Thank you, Extreme. I'm glad you enjoy. It's always fun to do what I do here. Been enjoying this for over 20 years, but this is the format I always wish that I could have done it in, and I was just slow to transitioning onto Twitch. Jeez, imagine if I was doing this a couple of years or even 3 years earlier, but I still needed to get past what caused me to shut down 1.0 originally, which was just being too trusting. Hate to admit it that way. All right. Pick is in for the Brewers. To try to be a little more expeditious, we're going to simplify the talk. So I'm going to start to remove some of the pomp and circumstance here, if you guys don't mind. Zach Mcmahon from Palm Harbor, Florida, playing at the IMG Academy. He's just got drafted by the Brewers. Looks like he's got a phenomenal fastball knuckle curve combination. It's that changeup that's pretty scary. He likes to just say, here comes the 100-mile-an-hour stuff, try to hit it. 6'8", 215 pounds, and he's got pretty good command of the dish. Gotta think McMahon could be a good project, maybe even a possible closer here if he doesn't have a future as a starter. Zach McMahon has been selected. Again, we're going to try to move this along. Baltimore now up. Baltimore's selection is all ready. I see their pick. Go right ahead and put that in Stats Plus. Again, removing some of the pomp and circumstance to keep things going here to try to get as much done by 9 o'clock. Billy Snyder, the junior from Butler, has been drafted. He's a Bristol, Connecticut native. Pretty good complement of pitches. Fastball, cutter, curveball, circle change. Belief that the circle change, the way he's been working it, could really trend him in the right direction and make him a really tough pitcher. He throws upper 90s, keeps it on the ground, and he's just challenges people. Doesn't look like a power pitcher, but again, did Pedro Martinez ever? Billy Snyder, selected by the Brewers, Baltimore Orioles here with their pick. It's the 105th pick of the draft. Let's go over to the Twins. They have their pick already in. We'll take a peek at their pick. We're going to take a pick at their peak. Tim Hinderaker from, is that Alaska? From Kenai, Alaska. Transferred to Minnesota, playing at the Bethany Academy in Bloomington. Planning to go to LSU. Hey, a different school for once. Pretty solid third baseman, has that excellent talent with the arm. Pretty good range, should be respectable there. A lot of work needed still on his offensive game, but they say he can keep bat on ball. He can work the count. That should be a benefit in itself, as Tim Hinderaker will be selected here by the Minnesota Twins. Over to Philly we go. Philly's pick is in. St. Louis now officially on the clock. Joel Ostertag, the shortstop from Linganore, Bartonsville, Maryland. Now transferred to Chicago. Playing for Marian Catholic in the Chicago Heights region. Planning to go to Florida State and be a Seminole. We'll see if the Phillies have anything to say about that. Pretty solid type of player. He's one of your prototypical bottom third of the order type of guys that's going to hit for average. Not going to really dominate or produce much, but he'll be in the label of pest. Not going to hurt you terribly on defense, but definitely not going to be the guy to make the flashy plays out there. Ostertag has been drafted. We'll go right on to St. Louis. They have made their selection. St. Louis will go after from Passaic, New Jersey, the switch-hitting right fielder Sam Campow. Great power hitter, uses that 6'6" frame well through the zone, planning to use that at North Carolina. We'll see if the Cardinals can lock him down. He's an aggressive type of individual when he needs to be. So pretty relaxed type of player off the diamond. Solid arm, should play right field pretty regularly. Understand he's done a smattering of first base recently. We'll see if he's got potential there. Looks like he could be a good all-around type talent in regards to his offensive capabilities. Everything grades at above average to plus talent. Should be a good, respectable pick here for the Cardinals as they get Sam Campa. Are you kidding me? 8:36 at night on my business line. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. It's all of a sudden lately. The phone is ringing when we're streaming at this hour. Normally it's quiet. Yes, I'm calling. I stream in my office, as you figured it out. All right, Astros selection is in. Rangers are going to be up on deck. And with their selection, Astros will select another 1.0 player. Not a 1.0 player, I'm sorry. This is a community-created player created by one of our more recent community members, Big Mike, the Big Boss, Mike Powell from Portage, Wisconsin, he did play his ball for the University of Florida. Another Gator! He's a fast guy. I don't know if that'll translate into a lot of steals in the majors if he gets there, but an adequate center fielder. Might be better positioned as an outfielder long term. Also has some experience at first base. Drew in his high school days has not played it as much of late. He'll be one of those guys that is an all or nothing type of hitter. We'll see if he tries to work on that a bit more as time goes on. But Mike Powell will be your selection here in the 4th round by the Houston Astros. Rangers are up. Haven't seen their pick yet. Just double checking that I didn't miss anything from Jamie. There's Jamie. Okay. Guys, don't be shy on the pomp and circumstance anymore. Feel free when it's your turn in the pool, on the draft pool, to go right ahead. Feel free to jump ahead of me and we'll try to get as much of this done as we can. Never mind you. Sergio Vargas, the left-hander from Puerto Rico, has been has American descent. He is a dual citizen. The left-hander planning to go to Stetson University this coming year. Pretty solid with his 3 pitches. The one question is not a lot of movement when it comes out. They think it's arm slot on how he throws, but he's still a pretty solid overall pitcher. This is a guy who's going to command and control the running game. Jamie, you put in a wrong player from who you told me in whisper. Don't do that. I'm going... Okay, yeah, please fix that if you can, or let me do it now. Let me see if I can fix that. Change what? Oh, the player? Yeah, I can change that. I can change that to who you're requesting here. All right. Pick has been changed. It's officially in. Sergio Vargas has been drafted by the Rangers here in the 4th round. That'll get us over to the Braves. Aiden, don't know if you're there or not. $20 minutes. I don't know if we're going to get through the 5th round. And I will apologize, guys. This is our first draft that we do where we are an affiliate, where we have to adhere to times. Yeah, we weren't an affiliate. No, we were an affiliate in the last draft. So, how did we do that last time? Maybe we did it on different days. All right, Aiden. Oh, you know what? Aiden told me go by list at the end here. That's right. Okay, rounds 4 or 5. I sincerely apologize, guys. I just cost us some time there. Okay, so I've got to read what he says. So I'm going to do this. Says he wants older guys. All right, that seems to be the closest fit to what he wants. So we're going to make that one official. Let me put it in. Charles, you are on deck. It looks like you've whispered me already. Thank you. Selection is in. It is Arturo Flores from Bakersfield, California. Freshman over at Laverne. Wanted a guy who was a little more polished and solid eye. Well, this is a college-based player who is a freshman who looks like he will be a easy player to sign for the Braves. They will select him with their pick here. Hopefully that works. Tampa. Okay. Wow. Killing me, Smalls. Position. So I've got to do this the hard way, but thankfully I'm going to do it the quick way. All right. Found your player. Please put him in on the Stats Plus, please. Jamie Wright, the catcher. Senior from Axton Boxborough in Acton, Mass. I drove by Acton, Mass a lot back in the day. From Laconia, New Hampshire. Laconia Bike Week is synonymous for Jamie Wright. The senior, planning to go to Broome Community College as a JUCO. Line drive type of hitter, pretty respectable game. Could use a little more work with his arm mechanics is the question mark for Wright, but still should be a respectable offensive type talent. I could see him being a backup type player to a Hamilton Porter down the road. Okay, Wright is aboard. We're going to get through the 4th round at the least. I have a feeling that's where we're going to finish here. All right. Ray's just selected Jamie Wright. I'm going to do that. Cody, if you're up. Cody's another one of those guys who wants to make me work. Puts it on Discord. I'm lucky I went looking over there. Okay. Put it on. Go ahead and put him on Stats Plus as soon as you can, please. The left-hander from Brookfield Center, Ohio. Josh Blackburn, planning to go to St. Louis for college. 3-pitch pitcher, cutter, changeup, screwball combination. Pretty deceptive move over to first. Will keep the running game in check. Should be a respectable player. Can definitely develop into more. And has played very well. Never lost in his high school days. All right, Tigers are up. Says go to the list. Oy vey. All right. Okay, I think I found the first name I don't recall being picked. Let's see. Yep, all right, I found it. not getting that full buy-in right now. I'm having to do double work here. Randy Jordan from Palmdale, California. Planning to go to Nebraska here this upcoming season. Randy Jordan, right-hander pitcher, has some respectable ability with a bat. Not known for his power, but he could possibly serve as a poor man's two-way player here. But coming to the majors or being drafted predominantly for his pitching ability, Randy Jordan being drafted by the Tigers here. All right, Diamondbacks are up. We are seriously running out of time here. So I think we're going to be done, unfortunately, after the fourth round's done. I feel terrible about that, but again, we've got to honor our agreement with Out of the Park. Am I streaming the Out of the Park 23 interview here? Is that the one with Marcus at 9 o'clock? Yeah, then we're absolutely going to be done for sure, because I want to watch that. All right, Diamondbacks have made their selection. Diamondbacks will go after one of the few players that are imported in the pool. The last one we've seen that's a real-life player who was drafted was Jason Dominguez back in the first round. Now you've got 18-year-old Tyler Soderstrom from Turlock, California, playing his ball over at St. Mary's and committing to go to Akron here this season. Pretty good all-around game. Nothing really stands out. Just called a consistent ball player. He'll be a potential advantage for him. Will be going to Arizona with a bit of the wide parks. He's been known to be a gap-type hitter, so that could work to his tendency. If he can hit home runs, we'll see if he's aiming for the pool there out in right center field. Tyler Soderstrom, real-life player drafted by the Arizona Diamondbacks. Nationals pick is in. Don't even have the time to tell the story about Chris Lausma. Lausma was a guy that Chris had originally. Lausma was a guy that Chris from the Blue Jays had originally, and the dude was just impossible to get out in his early career. But then we found that he was just so massively glitched, and we had to fix it before he made the majors. And you will see when you look at his career in 1.0, he did quite well. Hit 309, 144 homers, 817 runs batted in, and almost 1,700 hits in his time. It's a pretty respectable player. Does it translate here? He was never a patient guy. He only had 300 walks in almost 1,500 games. A walk in almost one in every 5 games. He'll hit the ball. He'll play respectable defense. He'll be a good speedster. It's just a question of whether or not he's got the potential to be a long-termer in the 2.0 universe. That'll be the question. But Chris Lausma was absolutely a challenge player to deal with back in the original universe. Tom's pick is up. Of course you can sign him because you're the one who drafted him. All right. Tom's pick is in. It'll be Eddie Howard from Evergreen Park, Illinois. Planning to go to Long Beach State there this season. The shortstop, pretty respectable shortstop. They think that he's going to grade out. Could see him being a top or second tier type of shortstop. Respectable running game. Not going to be the most dominant type of hitter, but the way he hits the ball, they project him to be a solid line drive hitter. If he can continue to find the gaps, you got to think that this is a guy who will comfortably hit you 30 doubles a season. He fits very much. He reminds me of maybe an improved version of Vic Rodriguez that they're working on right now. Pirate, you're putting the cart before the horse. The draft's not even done yet. You can't do anything except draft players. Hold your horses. Hold your horses, sir. All right. Next selection is in. If I can find him. There he is. Just as I say that. Meet another one of the real-life players from New Bedford, Massachusetts, Jared Schuster. Another one of the players that was drafted and made a appearance and finally available to be imported. He's a sophomore over at Georgia, 8-5 with a 3.40 ERA. Pirate, I'm so out of time, I don't even have the ability to chat right now about that. The 6'3" left-hander, 21 years old, throws the fastball, slider, changeup combination. Respectable stuff and control. He should project to be a challenge guy. There's talk that he actually wants to play in right field as well. There's the question of whether or not he has the offensive talent for that. But he is being drafted for his pitching capabilities. We'll see what that will bring down the road. Schuster, drafted by the Cubs with their second pick of this round, one of their compensatory picks. We have the Astros up next, and then the Cubs one more time from compensatory picks from free agents this offseason. Next pick to the Astros, they will go for from Bedford, or going to North Lawrence in Bedford, Indiana. Rob Avery, center fielder, pretty quick guy. He's one of those guys that starts slow, but boy, does he pick it up really quick, so he will have some deceptive stolen base potential for not being the fastest in like a 40-yard dash or anything. And a phenomenal arm. This is a guy that if the ball is hitting his range, you may want to rethink about trying to go for that extra base. He's got that type of talent. Avery at the dish will definitely be a home run type of profile swinger. He's hoping to go to Texas, help the Longhorns continue a long tradition. However, very likely the Astros may be able to swerve from Texas Stadium and head over to Minute Maid Park instead. Rob Avery, drafted by the Astros. That gets us to what unfortunately is going to be the final pick of our draft, our live coverage of our draft. And it will be from Victory Christian High School in Carmichael, California, Amari St. Fleur. The Ohioan, planning to go to across country to East Carolina. Mostly known for his defensive talent. He is a true student of the game. He's the type of guy that you say, this is going to be a guy that is going to look to coach in the majors in the future. He's got that type of mindset for the game. Still needs to have the tools translate into the talent, though. That's the one question mark about him. He hits well at the high school level, but the question has always been that they're not sure if it will translate into the higher levels, which will be the challenge for St. Fleur. Nonetheless, though, he's got the work ethic, and he is, again, as said, a true student of the game. Just got to see if he is going to be able to apply that on the field with opportunities he gets himself. St. Fleur, selected by the Cubs. I think that is it. Well, we've got two selections that are made. We're going to go as far as we can, and then we will move over to the Out of the Park developments because we do want to feature. We've got the creator of Out of the Park 23, Marcus Heinsohn, is going to be live tonight talking about Out of the Park 23. Again, Heinsohn did sell Out of the Park Developments, still working there as a developer, but that is on my understanding, 2-3 year plan that Heinsohn will be officially stepping away from the game. That's going to be a huge thing for me, who's lived on this game for more than 2 decades, to see the guy who was the inspiration behind it walking away from his product. It's going to be kind of bittersweet. hopefully his product will be left in a feature that you guys know and love here on eMLB itself. So we can only hope that this game is going to stay in a capacity that we will like what we've got. We're going to show what picks are in so far. Danny Olbrich has been selected as the first pick in the 5th round. The junior at Louisville. Pretty respectable power type hitter, already seasoned in the game. Could see Olbrich working in a super utility role and working in it quite well. Might be a really good find for the Giants here. Ryder Jones, well, Olbrich could possibly be not far away from getting into the majors if he is as polished as we think as he could be. Miami put their selection in. While we've got time, let me know when Out of the Park goes live, please, because that's when we're going to transition over. Josh Hardgraves has been selected by Miami. Carson, California native, playing his ball in LA as a senior, planning to go to Tennessee and be a volunteer this season. Pretty respectable all-around offensive game. His defense, well, his range is average, but he's got a phenomenal set of hands and a pretty good arm out there. You don't want to test him in the right field area. He's also going to surprise you with the running game as well. I think you got a pretty good find here in the 5th round for the Marlins, as Josh Hardgraves has been selected by Miami. Just realized that. Hold on. You know what? I'm going to stop right there because I need to fix the draft picks. If I go too far, it's going to freeze them all up. So, silly how it does that. Because in this round, I can change the rest of the draft pool so that it's much easier to do it from there. At least I've got that much working for me. So, all right, that will be it. I'll stop it at Oakland because it will be my turn, so that'll work for me. So draft will be over. Again, I'm sorry I didn't get that final 5th round in that we were shooting for. I do hope you enjoyed this year's version or this season's version of eMLB Sportsnet Studio. I would like this to have a little bit more interaction, so we'll be working on that as we go. Again, special thanks to my daughter Rocky Draws for all of her round 1 work on being able to help that. She saw my vision. I'd like to still make some tweaks to what we presented to you recently, but I like the way that we were able to introduce the data to you and give you a good story. And again, hope you liked a little bit of the silliness that we decided to add in a little bit of tonight's particular festivities as well. Apologies to Andrew in advance for some of the extra work that means as he edits the video over to YouTube, which, if you haven't done so yet, join us over on YouTube. The eMLB Baseball Universe can also be found there. All content moves over to there, and don't forget the exclusive podcast, the eMLB Insider Podcast, done by Anju Pays and Jordan Cage 28, found only on our YouTube channel. They're going to have a lot to say about this draft. And don't forget, we're at the All-Star game. We're near the trade deadline. Plenty to talk about, so please hit that subscribe button over on YouTube and join us there. Some, he says. So I'm just looking to see. I don't know if they're on yet. We will point to Out of the Park as soon as they go live. Don't want to listen to me. Not yet. I see that. So, I will wait until they go live. Then we will send it over to them. Again, it's going to be a good one this evening because, again, the announcement went live on the Discord, but I don't see them yet. So, thank you, PJ. I appreciate that. Quick content note here. For the meantime, the rest of the draft, we've got 28 rounds total. Nothing else of this draft is going to be live here on the Fluffy Kitty Ninjas show. So the rest of this draft will be done on Twitch, on Twitch. It's going to be done on Stats Plus, there's the draft board. Continue to follow the draft board so you know where things are. The goal is to get that done in a timely manner. Right now, the next scheduled game of the day or night would be Sunday, but that is contingent upon the draft being finished. So consider this a little bit of a break. We may not have content on Sunday. And again, our next scheduled broadcast would normally be Monday. That will not take place this week due to the presence. Well, yeah, Easter as well. So that's an even better reason not to do it, unless we do it in the evening. But also Monday, the Out of the Park channel is going to be live with content. So we will not be streaming on Monday night. So it is most likely that we will reconvene action next Wednesday, maybe with doing a little bit of podcast type stuff. Who knows? That is a question mark. So just so you know when we were most likely to go back live here. They have a live chat going over on YouTube. Are they not? Hold on. Maybe a live version of the eMLB Insider. That's always possible. Let's see. Huh. It must be on YouTube. Okay. Either way, well, they're not on Twitch, so we're not going there. So let me send us to someone else. You know what? Who do we raid then? If we're not raiding Out of the Park, I want to get off real quick here. Oh yeah, let's go raid the PBE sim. Let's do that tonight. We'll go raid our friends over at PBE. Good call there. Oh yeah, let's go raid the PBE. Now, don't listen to me again. We'll go raid our friends over at PBE sim tonight. Again, thank you all for your time and energy over on the draft. After Litterbox, I'm going. Fluffy Kitty Ninjas do assassinate, and you're looking at their victim. So, next time I can find some glue and tape, put my head back on straight, we'll be back in front of you next week. When officially, we're not sure yet. It all is contingent upon when the draft is done. So, please go to the Discord if you're not there yet, or follow us closely on the draft board so that you can figure out when it's done. Announcements will come soon on our social media channels that we use. For now, let's go see our friends over at the PBE Sim. Thank you again for your time, energy, subs, bits, donations, your time, all of it. Appreciate it. Thank you. Can't say it enough. We've had fun. We hope you did too. See you soon. Peace.
Jackass!